Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Friday morning trading session. End of another trading week. The market's just opened up, so we'll see what opportunities we get today. At the moment, it looks like the market is in a little bit of a sideways mode. This is the NASDAQ, of course. And you can see here in the overnight some pretty substantial ranges, but no real progress. The market's going up, the market's going down, the market's going up, the market's going down. So a lot of that thrashing about that we saw the other day also. We'll just give them a few minutes to get their bearings. I'm loading the trade manager on the rest of my charts. I've also got soybeans and crude oil. Crude oil making a little bit of progress to the upside. Crude oil now currently trading at 42.30, give or take. Which is up about $4 from where it has been. Okay, the buyers seem to be getting a little busy. We're still only a couple of minutes into the session. I'm trying not to get a little carried away here. All right, so it looks as though out of the gate here, we got a little bit of a hard edge bounce. I didn't trust it just because, well, not because of the signal, that's for sure. Sometimes these things are easier to see in hindsight, obviously. But because of the normal choppiness that we're seeing, we've still got lots of time. If they are committed to heading higher today, then I'm sure we're going to get our opportunities. Wow, there they go. Certainly a lot stronger than I anticipated them to be. Soybeans in a little bit of a funk. We've got soybeans making a rule of three type setup here. This is on our Eagle trend trader. And the band is currently bullish, but the market keeps making signals against the hard edge. We've got a green bar sell here, which we know to be a fairly reliable signal. You can see I've drawn a trend line across here. You could enter below this bar or even below the next bar. Oops, running away on me a little bit there. So it looks like that might be an opportunity in soybeans for if the market breaks down today. Okay, speaking of markets breaking down, the NQ now coming into the hard edge, at least on the Raptor band. The Eagle band still got a little ways to go, and here you can see on our support and resistance suite, we're hovering just above the median line. We were generating a first micro-macro cross signal here for the moment. Of course, the problem with the hawk, well, as with the other ones, we haven't seen a test of the extreme yet. It'll be a little bit easier to sell this. Oh, and a quick little first micro macro cross there. And a trend change signal. So things starting to appear a little bit more bearish for the short term. Well, look at this conflict. A macro pullback signal, a red bar buy, green bar sell signal, and a follow through on the red bar buy. So right now the green bar sell actually looks a little bit safer because I figure if the market's going to go down, or I mean if the market's going to go up, it's not going to engage my order. So even though I didn't choose the right direction, it didn't cost me anything to be wrong. Soybeans giving us a first micro macro cross on the hawk also. So that confirms what we've seen in the other chart on our eagle. The NQ just giving some pretty incredible ranges today. I'm curious if this red bar buy signal had enough in it to find the profit objective. No, not quite. Wow, now a late filter entry here on the NQ. This market really trying to generate some buying power. Okay, well, late filter entry. I know it's a stronger signal, so I'm going to keep the risk limited to only a single contract. Okay, the late filter entry has since voided. We actually had an early trend change signal to the downside here. I don't know if I want to do anything early on this market. All right, so now we're working on a proper trend change signal. Notice the trend line change. Notice here's the portion that changed the trend line. Here's the down, here's the up. Waiting for the down to see if we generate a down portion. And here they come. This is only worth a onesie. So I'm essentially playing the range. Covering above the highs, profit target near the lows. Oh, don't stop right there. Come on, you. Come on. You can do it. Nope. No, you can't. Day like today, I should be concentrating on the hawk, really. These little short-term swings. And yet another red bar buy signal here on the Eagle. Now we're currently against the ATR, so we'll have to wait for the ATR to turn over. But we're also working on a little bit of a rule of three type scenario. Here's the second signal counter trend. We're getting, oh wow. I was going to say we're getting another first micro macro cross, but this market is just churning all over. Let's see if I can cover this Eagle trade. Now the whole idea behind the rule of three is that we see the market breaking down, right? We see the test of the extreme. We're actually starting to generate signals against the dominant direction of the trading band. Now, technically, we've only had two signals counter trend. The rule of three says we wait for the third signal, but the most important thing about the rule of three is not the three signals, but rather the test of the extreme, this part right here, and then the failure. Come on. Now we do have our three signals, as you can see. A little bit of buying support coming in off of these lows. Somewhere around here, the sellers are going to have to step in and show us that they do in fact have control of the market, or they're going to run our stops. Simple as that. We've made a commitment, and now we need to try to write it out. Trend mode going to close out rather shortly here, after which we're into scalp mode. Oh, goody. You mean it's going to get choppier than what it has been? Big tug-of-war bar going on here. Here we go. Another serious tug-of-war bar. The buyers really trying to dig in. If the sellers overwhelm them here, we should have no trouble hitting our profit objective. Come on. Come on. Just a little more. There we go. Okay, because we've got a profitable position there, I'm going to get a little bit more aggressive with the soybean trade, and I'm going to snap my stop to break even. I don't want to incur a loss after banking a profit, but if you're in this soybean trade, the best place to put your stop is still leave it above the high. I do think we're going to see soybeans drift down here, hopefully to the 80-70 area, certainly 80-70, 875. Sorry, I'm so used to looking at the NQ with the four digits. Down here to 875 seems very reasonable. I don't know whether or not I'll be able to ride out this swing now that I've taken the stop to break even, though. Sorry. Sorry, I couldn't get to my mute button. Stupid summer colds. Well, the buyers are not walking away, that's for sure. Soybeans just tapped me at break even on the other trade. It is a little tricky trying to get a handle on what the market really wants to do today. All right, well, if you didn't take a trade earlier, we are getting a green bar sell now here in the Eagle again. Now, a green bar sell, fairly strong signal. But of course, this market has got directional issues at the moment. Well, it looks like if this lower trend line holds on the upper, it may well bounce here. I mean, right here. All right, so now we're coming back with a green bar buy. We can nix all that. Oh, and here comes another green bar sell. Ay. All right, so the green bar sell is going to finish near these lows again. This one is in sync already with the ATR. I think I'll leave my break-even trigger here. Or actually, I'm going to make them get on the other side of this low. If they get on the other side of this low without bouncing, then it's probably as good a spot as any to get the trade to break even. So here's this reaction now to this support. Here come the buyers. And just like before, we need the sellers now to prove that they have control of this marketplace. Because right now the buyers have control. Come on, sellers, where are you? No, stinkers. Well, that tells us that the buyers should be stronger than the sellers right now. I was going to say we just have a trend change signal here in the Falcon. That's getting some follow through to it now. And a first micro macro cross here in the Hawk. Late filter entry signal here on soybeans as they struggle with these lows. So you got a chance on a second push entry here. In fact, you could make it go even below the current lows. Tony says today in the NASDAQ might be better to use OCO orders on the range, fewer trades, but might be more profitable. It's hard to say because what happens is you establish ranges to be sure, but then you get these false breakouts. Well, actually, we didn't see a false breakout this morning, did we? But see if we set a range here and here. Market breaks, and that had a little bit of follow through anyway. So now we have a range here and here. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe that's a good idea, Tony. We'll try it. All right, here we come again. Working on a possible trend change signal here with the Falcon. We've got the makings of one. It's not there yet. The Eagle and the Raptor both into the hard edges on their clouds. I'm going to try the Hawk this time if I can get that first micro macro cross signal. It's not it yet. We still have the macro line out of sync. Okay, now everything is in sync. There's the first micro macro cross. Oh, buggers. They moved too fast. I thought maybe I could snap in a sell order right here, but they slipped away on me. I might have to put the Raptor on the, or the Trailblazer on the Hawk. All right, sellers, where did you go? Okay, here's the green bar sell. No. Okay, after all this choppiness, we are looking at another first micro macro cross. And why are you not picking up my stop? I guess we'll have to do this the old-fashioned way then. Well, not a bad result for a little bit of a mess up on my part. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but I'm going to reload my Ninja script. You never want to do this when you're in a trade. What will happen is your orders will disappear off of your chart. However, they will still be active at the exchange level. And the only way you're going to see them, that's taking far too long. There we go. The only way you're going to see them is you're going to have to go to your control panel, your control center, and you will see your orders still here. And you're going to either have to manage them this way or manage them off of the dome. Oh, looks like I picked a bad time to look at that. Nice little macro pullback signal here. Oh, hi, Jim. Jim's asking. He says, "Good morning, Eric. How are you feeling? My head feels like a brick. Oh, it's so congested. You can, no doubt you can hear it. My sinuses are all plugged." Good question here from Jim. He asks, Eric, uh, did you do the back testing on the break even compared to not? Looks like you get stopped out too many times. It's I haven't run the numbers on it, at least not for a little while. Um, there's days that it works like a charm, and other days when the market is thrashing about too much. Yeah, I do take a lot of break-even hits. Um, but no, I don't. I don't have any solid numbers for you. I guess I should run it through the Profit Finder on the weekend. because I know what Jim is saying. He's saying if it wasn't for that break-even trigger, it'd still be short. And look, an immensely profitable position. So yeah, sometimes that break-even, because the markets move in these little zigzags, right? We all know it. Sometimes you just need to let it do its thing. And here we're getting a 4-arrow consolidation and a macro pullback. Oh, macro pullback's off the table, but we still have the 4-arrow consolidation / green bar sell. Now the 4-arrow consolidation is the only signal I will consider taking on a yellow bar. And in this case, I feel okay taking the break-even trigger, just because, you know, the market's made a little bit of a pullback here, and we've got the possibility of a test of the extreme and the failure, so I'll just take my profit and let my break-even stop snap that trade to break even. Working on a first micro macro cross again, but we're into yellow bars now, so that's off of the table. We'll watch this one a little bit though, because I had my stop up here somewhere, right? I was framed at something like this, more or less. Oh, about to get another first micro macro cross. I was going to say I'll follow this and we'll see whether or not it would have worked out better to leave the break-even trigger out of the equation. So far we would still be sweating the trade a bit. Now it looks like they're going to try to press higher because of this test of the extreme. We'll see if we get a first micro macro to the upside. I would consider buying it. Or like Tony said, you know, you've got ranges, go ahead, bracket them. Let's try that. So we got an OCO there, we got a sell order down here. We'll just let the market choose. I need something even a little bit more liberal than that. There we go. Yeah, I think Jim says he's using a 30 to 50 point stop on the YM because that's what the market's requiring right now. And it's a good call. Like, look at the average ranges here in the NQ. 5-day average 725. 10-day average 575. 30-day average 336. These are the average prices. When did we ever see like that, anything like that in the NQ? All right, so we're working on a first micro macro cross signal. I did the little bracket thing to see whether or not we could ride anything out. Nope. that, of course, is the danger with trying to trade a breakout. You see our first micro-macro cross signal also disappeared after the parameters changed. So the breakout idea might work better on a tool like the Raptor or perhaps the Falcon, but it doesn't. I think the Hawk signals are framing too tight to be able to take advantage of something like that. Or at least as tightly as I framed it. Jim says the NQ keeps bouncing around the 92, 94 mark. Yes, it sure does. So soybeans had a change of heart. Also, they've got a little bit of a rally going on now. So it was a good call to take that trade to break even when I did. Conflicting signals again. See, we've got a macro pullback here on the Hawk. We've got a green bar sell here on the Eagle. Now we're into a possible red bar buy on the Hawk. Now the red bar buy is the counter trend signal. You don't have to buy it. You can set up to sell it. Problem is, where do we cover this one? In this case, we'd probably have to cover it way up there. Essentially looking for the signal to fall apart and for the market to head lower. Well, that's enough of that. And now another first micro-macro cross signal, and right up here at the highs. This is actually a great place to enter, right above the high here. Now notice the signal's printing here. I'm giving up a fair amount of my profit objective in order to gain entry. Almost into a 4-arrow consolidation. We're halfway there. Crude oil acting a little bit more like crude oil this morning. Look at this. At the North American Open, well, actually, the crude oil opened way back here. The trend changes over. Our cloud changes over on the Eagle. Produces a nice little hard edge bounce. And look at that. Haven't seen crude do one of those for a long time. They're deliberating here. Okay, I'm just going to park the order there. Mark's asking, can I see your day ranger settings? Of course. Day ranger, I pretty much just go with the default. So I've got range format is in ticks. I think that's about all that you can do on this one. And my data is in 24/5 mode. I've loaded 50 days, but honestly, I don't think that makes a difference to the day range or anything over 30 days. Okay, so the buyer's made a little bit of a poke to the upside here. And right after that, the sellers start jumping all over them. Wow. And now we're coming back with yet another macro pullback. I don't want to see this many macro pullbacks so soon. It's a sign of weakness, actually. All right, so we're starting to break down a little bit here. Okay, we're getting a green bar sell. Wow, they're just moving really, really quick. I was going to show you here on the hawk. I don't mention this to you very often because I really don't want you looking for counter trend trades. But when you get a signal like the macro pullback signal, just like what we do with the red bar buy or the green bar sell, when we get one of these signals, we can either take it with trend or we can try to trade it counter trend. Right? We can look for it to come up, fail, and break down below this formation. Well, we can do the same thing with the macro pullback signal. So we've generated two macro pullback signals within the trend. We've got this little itty bitty test of the extreme. I was thinking about shorting the failure of the macro pullback. And you can see sometimes it unwinds like that. Now, normally what happens after the macro pullback fails, we get a red bar buy, and then we get that opportunity. And if we don't get that opportunity, we get a first micro macro cross signal. But this just unwound so quickly through here that we're not generating the first micro macro cross until way down here. I was hoping that I was going to get something here on the Falcon or the Raptor, but once again, everything just kind of unwound a little bit too quickly. Hey, such wild moves and no discernible direction. All right, excuse me for a moment. My nose is dripping like a tap here. I gotta go get some more Kleenex. I'll talk to you in a bit. Okay, what did I miss? Not much. Yeah, they're just taking turns punching each other in the face here. Now it's the buyer's turn to try to rally the market. One thing about these ranges, once the market gets out of here, it will probably have some better follow through. It's been ranging pretty much all morning so far. Oops. Just doing a little housekeeping on my charts while the markets try to sort themselves out. All right, so soybeans are a little reluctant to head lower. We are getting the makings of a buy signal, a very, very extended trend change signal here on the Falcon. Probably cover at least below the primary support. Well, nothing really going on just yet. There's still kind of thrashing about a bit. You see, our signals are all kind of messed up a bit. Here, the Hawk, we've got yellow bars. Here, the Falcon, we've got the trend line going out of sync temporarily. Here, the ATR line on the Eagle is messing everything up. Right now, the Raptor is the one that's the most neat and tidy, I suppose, but not by much. Okay, actually getting a little bit of a breakdown here in the Raptor now. Now I noticed the last time it got down here, we printed a buy signal or uh, bullish bars with a sell signal. We'll see if we get a test of the extreme now and a sell. As you might have guessed, I'm maybe a slightly more bearish today than bullish, but that is slight. Look at this little island of sellers. Wow, what a wild area of resistance. This might be a range that we could bracket. This could be a Tony range. There you go, Tony. I'm doing you the honor. We're going to name it after you. That way, if it fails, we'll blame you for it. um, yeah, the market is just so wrapped up here. Yeah, Tony says, name it after me only if it's a winner. It's just the amount of conflict. You can see it visually on the charts, but you can also see it how the bars are unfolding. Like almost every second bar has got a tail or a wick to it. That is showing you some serious conflict. The buyers and sellers very torn about which direction they want to go. Well, maybe not torn, but equally matched. All right, so let's see now whether they can sustain the breakout. Okay, come on now. The clouds are starting to cross over. That tends to be an area of support, or in this case, resistance. We'll see if they hold. And if we can get a bar or two heading lower here, I'm going to roll my stop in. Come on, one more bar. Come on. There we go. Where's Joe when we need him? We need somebody to get in there and throw in a big sell order here to force the market down. Come on, sellers. They're running around on vapors here. If there was a little bit more follow through, perhaps a little bit more volume, we'd get a little bit more follow through. All right, somebody take that low. There we go. Okay. Whew. That was hard work. All right, so where's a probable target? Well, the low of the morning session seems like a probable target, so why don't we start with that? And then I'll check the support and resistance suite. Whoa, 4280. That is a monster target. All right, let's see. We've got a little bit of time here this morning still. Oops. Yes, absolutely right. Suncom says, Eric, don't you want a buy stop down there at the target? Yes, thank you. Hey, that would have been bad. Buy limit. There we go. Yes, thank you. No, they're going to tap me at break even. Oh, well. It's just that kind of day. We did have some open profit here, which I suppose, given the amount of volatility in the market, I should have just grabbed whatever they were flashing me. Tony says, I told you it was a bad day for brackets. Well, it was worth a try. I hope you guys can see at least a little bit why this range here was worth trying to throw a bracket on. We had a little itty bit of a test of the extreme here, almost a head and shoulders style formation. Well, actually, I guess it is a head and shoulders formation. Almost a textbook head and shoulders. It breaks down, it retests, heads lower. It's going to try to retest it again. Oh, nicely done, Suncom. Suncom says, so far today, 7 winners, 1 loss, all in, all out, 10 tick targets on the hawk. What more could I ask for? And he says, I think I'm done for the day. That's probably a good call. And well done. That is some excellent work. All right, now we're getting a trend change signal here going on in the Falcon. Do they know something we don't know? probably. We spent practically the whole morning stuck between the, skewered more or less by the median line. This isn't the most heartwarming of signals because, well, the trend is undecisive, and if anything, we've had a little bit of a downtrend here. Broke through support. So here's our support. So when the market breaks down like this, we actually anticipate two moves in the direction of the breakout. And it looks like our buy signal has since voided, so I can cancel that. So here's that early trend change signal now, and I'm basing it on the structure that we have. So the early trend change signal simply means that we've got this test of the extreme, and then the signal produces just as the trend line and filter and everything come into sync. So it gets you in a little bit earlier. What you do need to do, however, is you don't want to be too quick with your stop here, because this is likely to develop into a proper trend change signal. Meaning there's going to be the down portion, there's going to be an up portion, and then a down portion with the signal. Similar to this, maybe not quite this big, but you see here's the down portion, here's the up portion, and here's the signal generation right here. Come on, get down there. Come on, one more there. Whew. For a second there, I thought they were going to give me that retrace. Raptor at the same time gave us a nice little double pullback, a little bit of a condensed version, but here we are, a nice sell-off back to the lows of this morning. Jim's asking about the break-even trigger. How did I formulate where the break-even stop should go? It's approximately anywhere from 75 to 80% of my profit target. I feel if the market goes that far and then fails to hit my profit objective, well, then break even is a good compromise. So on the Hawk, that means my break even, I've got a 10 tick target, my break even trigger is at 8 ticks. The default I think is 15, which I've currently got a 20 tick target in the NASDAQ and the Raptor. So I've left that at 15, and the Eagle, I think I've made it 25 or 30 or something like that. But that's the premise anyways. If the market's going to get that close to my profit objective, I fully expect it to hit the profit target. And if it doesn't, well, then go ahead, tap me at break even. I'll take it. And the choppiness continues. So a lot of yellow bars going on here again. Things starting to look a little bit more aggressive again. We're getting a little bit of a test of the extreme, but really it's just a chop fest. All right, well, we'll give it a few more minutes, but I think we might close up shop. Well, yeah, I think, guys, I think they're done. If you are going to trade the rest of the session, um, it's almost as though they've got to get outside this massive range that they've established this morning. Otherwise, they're just going to keep chopping back and forth. Um, Mark's got a question here we'll deal with before we close out today. It's regarding the day ranger. And Mark says that my day ranger shows today's range at 43.29 quarter to 42.81 3/4. And mine obviously shows a different range. He says, my chart shows the day range is correct as those are the highs and lows since the daybreak line. What does your high and low show? Um, Honestly, Mark, I don't know. I've always just gone with whatever the default settings were. So the session bar is my data input series 256. Yeah, there's really nothing here to change. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything to it. It could have to do with our computer clocks. Sometimes if my data is off relative to yours, don't forget I'm on the Pacific time zone. So it may start collecting the data at a slightly different time. I'm guessing that's what the issue is. But some of these tools, you don't need to get um, too fine with them. Like, don't take this number here, the 5-day range, as 724 3/4 and say, oh, that's the range, 724 3/4. No. You know what I mean? Like, just take, these are tools. These are tools to help you see, is the market expanding? Is it contracting? How much volatility is in there? What kind of stops might I need? What kind of profit targets can I take? And whether mine starts calculating the day range 2 hours before yours, that does not make mine more accurate. If anything, it sounds like yours might be more accurate. But even so, I don't think that our range numbers are, well, they could be a little bit out of sync given the amount of volatility going on in the market of late. But for the a regular, normal, air quotes, normal NASDAQ session, we might be very similar on our ranges. Mark says, why would there be a discrepancy in the charts? Well, here, let's go back to where the daybreak occurred. Lots of scrolling. So it's still today? Yes. So lots of activity, lots of opportunities. Session break line. So my session break starts recording right here at 2100 hours Pacific. So let's see, 2100, that's 9 p.m. my time, that's midnight New York. So that's when my session break occurs, well, everybody's occurs, midnight Eastern time. And so my high is 43.29. And it's saying the high is 43.27. So let's see what happens after midnight my time. Oh, that's what it does. Okay, it could be related to the computer clock. It looks like it starts tracking the range from midnight Pacific time instead of the session itself. That could be why the numbers are different. So there's the 43.27 3/4. Here is midnight my time, Pacific, and yet the session break occurred 3 hours earlier. So I'm guessing that's, yeah, Mark says that was my point. I mean, there's a 2-point difference from your chart to mine on the high number. It just seemed large. And yes, it is large, given the current volatility, it's 16 ticks. It's not that much. Not enough to get concerned over. Yes, exactly. Like Mark says, like you said, don't take the numbers too much to heart. No, these are just guides. Remember, you're trading what you see going on the chart. That is the important part. And like I said, I think we're just going to see them continue to thrash about in here. We won't get a serious move until we get somewhere outside of this range that was established this morning. If I had to choose, I think it's going to be easier to sell today. Jim is asking, Eric, does the NQ4345 mean anything? No, I don't think so. Um, it could be yesterday's highs or near yesterday's highs. It seems to me that we traded somewhere near 43.50 yesterday. Well, here we'll do a quick little look here on the Eagle. So I don't, yes, I have my session break. Okay. So it looks like this was yesterday's high, and it was 43.41. No, I don't think there's anything significant about 43.45, at least nothing that comes to mind. Oh, I see. Jim says it's a calculation for testing the top. Is it one of our... Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, it's the primary resistance number. I haven't looked so much at the support and resistance suite today because, like I said, the numbers have been skewered by the median line. They haven't drifted at all. The entire morning session, they've just been stuck around the median line. It seems like they get a little bit away, and then they drift back. They get a little bit away, and they drift back. Okay, you guys, have yourselves a wonderful weekend. We'll see you again on Monday morning. And, well, who knows what to expect the way the markets have been lately. All right, have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Talk to you guys soon. Bye for now.